tell me I'm late. That's the very first thing you guys are going to say the moment you jump on. You're going to start saying, mwewa, what's going on? You're late. Guys, could you jump on here real quick? See if we can get the show on the road. Can we do that? You know, it's the thing with these phones. If you don't have an external, what do you call it? An external hard drive. When your phone fills up, it's very difficult to update your apps. It's a nightmare. It really is. So here it is. Very late, sir, I am. Well, you ain't lying. Tell you what, I'm as late as all get out. This is Simoson, where everybody knows what's going on, but no one has any idea about what's happening. That's the world we live in over here at Simoson. And if you've spent any amount of time in this locale, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And every so often, being late is part of the deal. And I know that smacks of mediocrity, but hey, that's the world we live in. Okay? This is Simoson. Guys, I keep telling you, you don't know what it's like being me out here for you. Okay? It is an up and down, pride swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about. Okay? So that's a line from Jerry Maguire, by the way. I'm a big movie buff, in case you hadn't noticed. You're not going to believe this. If you haven't watched the film, The Playlist, it will open your eyes. The Playlist is about the rise, the creation, and the rise of the popular music streaming service called Spotify. The word Spotify is a derivative, comes from the two words spot identity. So there's this guy, his name is Daniel Ek. And I didn't even know, did you know? Tell me in the comments if you knew. Because, we live in a world where we think everything is Silicon Valley. We think that everything is American, everything is stateside, everything is California, everything's in the valley. Well, not everything comes from the valley. The valley is a place like Silicon Valley, the tech hub of the United States. I didn't know that Spotify was a Swedish company. Did you know this? Tell me in the comments if you knew this. Here it is. I'm sitting, flicking through Netflix. I come across this film called The Playlist. It's a series. And typically, I don't like series because it takes a lot out of my day. I would rather sit and watch a feature film, rather than sit there watching episode after. But anyway, this one grabbed me because it sort of unveiled, it pulled back the curtains, and it gave us a glimpse into the innards. Ever heard of that word? The innards. The intestines, the gut, the liver, and the heart, and the pancreas. The innards of this streaming service that all of us love and all of us use called Spotify. My phone's ringing. Just give me a second. This is Simoson. I have to take this. Austin? Yes. Who is there to move it? Yeah, but where are they from? Oh, they're from Rutherford. Okay, tell them to come in the evening. Yeah, they need to come at night. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry. Hi, is that G. Rutherford? Yes, sir. Yes, you can only come late tonight or early, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes, that's the only time you can do it. You can't do it now because it's full of cars in there. And if that billboard slips and falls, you know, it's going to cause, and then we get sued. And who needs that aggravation? Yes. So can you come at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning?
5 a.m., yes.
5 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay. There is no problem, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. And also, could you do me a favor? Could you leave your number with my attendant there? His name is Austin.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, guys. All righty. Cheers. Thank you. Well, you know, that's G. Rutherford. You guys know the story. Few years ago, Miles Sampa, when he was mayor, he called me, and he was downstairs in the car park. So he comes to me and says, these guys want to put a billboard, and this was during the PF. This was when they were the PF. And because he was mayor, he sort of hung, he put my back against the wall. I couldn't say no. And he said, look, we need to put a billboard here. We need to do this, that, and the other. And, you know, and I knew it was going to block Simoson. And I know you're going to say, well, Simoson's ugly anyway, so it doesn't matter if they block it. We know it's ugly, but it's not right to block a building. So finally, I said to Miles, look, fine, do it, but, you know, at some stage it's going to have to come out. The very next day, Miles calls me and says, we need to put another one there. I said, Miles, you've already put one. It's blocking my business to begin with. And now you want to put another one? He says, yes, no, we want to put another one. There's a billboard of me, and I want to put one of ECO. You know, we can't leave the boss out. I said, Miles, don't do that. Okay? Just, you've put the one, let's just go with the one. And he said, okay, fine. So that was a few years ago. And I've been talking to G. Rutherford for a while. And I've been telling G. Rutherford, I said, Rutherford, get your billboard. It keeps blocking my business. You know, so finally I wrote to the town clerk and I said to the TC, I said, look, TC, you know more than anybody else, it's against the law for anybody to erect a billboard in front of another building and blocking the view of that building. TC said, who the heck did that? I said, Rutherford. I said, well, you know, the truth is no business can block your building. And you guys that are listening to me now, if you have a building, if you have a business, and somebody erects a billboard that blocks your business, it is against the law to do that. You should go to Lusaka City Council, complain, they will remove it. No questions asked. It's the truth. All right. Guys, what are we talking about? Do me a favor, please share this live if you can. Share the live. Please tell me I'm loud and clear. Or what was I saying? Oh, I was talking about Daniel Ek. I didn't know Spotify is a Swedish company that was started by this guy by the name of Daniel Ek with a group of techies. And it's an amazing story. It's on Netflix. And what speaks to me, guys, I have to take this. I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm doing a live right now. Can I call you when I'm done? Hello, I'm doing a live at the moment. Can I call you when I'm finished? Who's speaking? It's the thing. You ask who's speaking, then they hang up on you. I mean, what kind of craziness is that? Anyway, what spoke to me was what you and I take for granted. You know, you and I can sit. I've got a Spotify on my phone. See there, Spotify? You and I can sit and listen to Spotify. What we take for granted took years to develop. It's the most incredible thing. But when you listen to when you watch the story, it is so intriguing, it beggars description. The film it's a series on Netflix. It's called The Playlist. And it's about Daniel Ek's journey. Ek, not E-X, Ek, E-K, Daniel Ek, from Sweden. All righty, let's talk about it. First person I want to talk about is Iris Kaingo. Guys, here's the thing. This is what and the only reason I'm speaking about this is because it's in the public domain. As many of you know, a few recent photographs have been published of Iris Kaingo with somebody else, and this is my advice. My advice is any man, okay, any man that decides to get close, and that's putting it conservatively, any person that tries to get close to Iris, you must understand that that comes with a lot of baggage, and you have to make the decision. My advice would be, don't make your rendezvous public. Don't. When it comes to Iris, because you will attract a lot of attention. You're going to attract tons of commentary. It's going to be super uncomfortable for you because everywhere you go, that's the first thing people are going to ask you. You know, instead of talking about the job that you do, the very first thing people are going to ask you is, so you're with Iris now, huh? How the hell did that happen? Do you want to explain what's going on there? That's all people are going to talk about. So in order to avoid that, my advice would be keep it out of social media. You can rendezvous if you want. I mean, you know, people are people. You know, we all need somebody. We all need love and affection, and we all need cuddling. We all need somebody that'll hold our hand when things are rough, and we all need people that we sort of fill our needs when those needs arise. That came out wrong. But the point is, it's a little controversial when a public figure decides to have a rendezvous, and understand, I'm speaking in code because, you know, I'm trying to be as sensitive as possible. It's a little unsettling, I think, when you associate with Iris and think that it's going to be smooth sailing. It's not. You are going into a torrential rainfall. You know why? Because everybody's going to be saying, what, so it's you now? You know, what happened to the other guy? And here's the thing. Iris, in my view, is very good at gravitating towards power. Ooh, that's serious. That came out. That's saying something. Tell me in the comments if that does that resonate with you? Is that gelling? Is that making sense when I say that? That Iris is extremely adept at gravitating towards power. That just came to me. I mean, you know, I keep telling you, we need to write a book. You know, I got all this stuff in my head, and it just ends after my breath. It needs to be documented. Okay? I need to put this stuff down so that future generations can look back and say, hey, this is what he said. I'm being silly. So, yeah, I think that they really, look, people are people. Okay? And people are going to do what they're going to do. But I think it's possible to avoid this. If you're a pilot and you're flying and you're cruising at 17,000 feet and the tower says to you, look, there's a storm up ahead and there's a way to avoid it. You don't sit there as the pilot and think, no, man, we're going to go straight into the eye of the storm. You know why? Because that's what we do. You're setting yourself up for catastrophe. You are. Keep it out of social media. Rendezvous, but rendezvous privately. The word rendezvous means meet. In case some of you wonder, hey, rendezvous. No, rendezvous means to meet. If you're going to rendezvous, if you're going to meet, just keep it out of social media. You don't want that. You don't. Trust me. All righty, what's next? What are we talking about? Oh, the admin. Did you guys hear this? Guys, does this come across as a gossipy thing that we're doing? This isn't gossip. This is just being informative. There's a huge difference between being gossipy, and tell me in the comments, guys, do I sound gossipy, or am I informing you? Am I entertaining you, or am I being gossipy? Tell me in the comments, and because you know, I'm gonna Zambia the shupa. No, that's just gossip. No, I'm informing you. So please tell me in the comments if this comes across as gossipy, okay? Which I don't want it to be. I don't, okay? Good advice. Let them keep it off social media. Yes, I agree with that. Beatrice says that. So there's a Facebook page called Private Eye, and its sole purpose was to scandalize people. You know, maybe catch you in a compromising situation, post photographs of you half naked, and then demand money from you so that the admin of that page called Private Eye can pull down that image or that video. They would typically demand 1,000 kwacha. You know, they'd post something about you that was scandalous, okay? And everybody knows, everybody's got a scandal. The only difference is it hasn't come out yet. They post something about you that's scandalous, and then they call you and say, hey man, listen, I just posted something about you, and if you want it to stay up there, don't do anything. But if you want me to remove it, you need to send me $1,000, and here's the number to send it on. And people, because people are desperate, they're angry, they're furious, they send the money. But you see, you can only go so far with that type of extortion. It is extortion. It's illegal, it's racketeering, it's a form of racketeering, okay? And it's got no place in our digital society. And so I'm very pleased to hear that the admin, Uyunya Renda from Katete, about Kuchipata Mashino. I'm so happy now. Bamuchita Guirix, bamuchita Fiantix, bamufianta. Okay, so here it is. I'm so pleased beyond measure. I am tickled. I was going to say pink. I'm tickled gray that they finally got the admin of this Private Eye Facebook page that was just being a nuisance on Facebook. We don't want that. Educate, inform, and entertain. That should be your goal, okay? As a Facebook platform. Educate, entertain, and inform. Don't scandalize. If you bring out something that's true, that's beneficial to the public, that warns the public, do it. But don't post naked pictures of some girl, some high school chick, and say to her, hey girlie, I saw them and I've posted them, and if you don't want your parents to lose their minds, send me $1,000. Wrong. You're going to jail. You are going to prison. It's a fact. All right, what's the last thing we're talking about? Please remind me in the comments. Because, you know, sometimes I lose track. I do. So I have to refer to my phone here. I got my phone. I use it as my monitor here. It was, all right. Oh, by the way, did you hear about this lady from Zimbabwe? She was on a bus coming from Zimbabwe, and she typically didn't use the toilet on this particular bus, because, you know, she didn't want to use the toilet. She doesn't use the toilet typically. But on this particular trip from Zimbabwe to Lusaka, on the way, she ate something that didn't agree with her stomach. And so her stomach began to rumble, and she felt, you know what, this isn't going to be good. But she felt, you know, let me hold it until we get to Intercity, and then I'll do the thing, you know, I'll do the whatever. She gets to Intercity, and she gets her bags, and right when she gets her bags, she decides in that moment, I really need to use the bathroom. I need to do number 2. I've got diarrhea. I can feel it. And so she rushes to this Hungry Lion opposite intercity. And she says to the lady, look, where are your bathrooms? The guy behind the counter was so blasé. He was just nonchalant, couldn't be bothered. He says to her, no, you have to buy something before you can use the toilet. I've never heard of such a thing. That is the most ridiculous, most insensitive response I've ever heard. What, you have to buy something before you can use the toilet? What kind of craziness is that? So anyway, at this moment, because by this time, her brain had told her innards that it's time to offload. Okay, it's either you offload here or find somewhere to do it. But I'm sending a signal to your rectum. Is it the rectum? Is that the part of the, correct me if I'm wrong. The brain is going to send a signal to the rectum to open and just let everything out. So she was desperate. She says to the guy, she says, look, I need the toilet. And if you want me to buy something, I've got my bank card. You hold on to my bank card. Show me where the toilet is so that I do my thing. The guy was unreasonable. The Hungry Lion guy was totally unreasonable. No, let me call the manager. So the manager comes over, some lady. And by this time, this woman is crossing her legs. She's tightening her behind. And she says to the manager, she says, I need to use the toilet right now, or else I'm going to embarrass myself right here in this shop. Do you know what the manager of Hungry Lion said? Why are you upset? Why are you upset? Just relax, Mami. It's just a toilet. Don't be angry. The woman looked at the manager and said, girl, do you want me to offload right here in your... Do you want me to do something that will make everybody in here never come here again? If you don't want me to do that, you need to show me where the toilet is. I need to do number 2, and I need to do it now. So finally, another person, just a different person, says, let me show you where the bathroom is. And she was assisted. She said by the time she got to the bathroom, literally a nanosecond later, had she not gone in that toilet, a nanosecond later, it would have been Brownsville, Tennessee in there. I don't even know where Brownsville is. Anyway, so when some guys, Hungry Lion, when people approach you and they say they want to go to the bathroom, don't debate. Don't be cute. People are desperate. One day, someone's going to offload in your restaurant, and people are never going to go back there again. It's going to be Brownsville, Tennessee in there. I don't even know where Brownsville is. So I thought I'd share that with you. The last story is this tonse alliance false narrative about HH's rally in Kabwe. Tonse alliance led by this shyster, this conman, this embezzler, Sean Tembo. Sean Tembo, who really is a fugitive from the authorities in Botswana. I find it so strange that Sean Tembo is supposed to be this politician who provides checks and balances when he himself ran from Botswana because he tried to embezzle money from the Botswanan government. And nobody talks about that. In America, they would take you to task, Sean Tembo. They would make you explain that until you turned gray. But in Zambia, these journalists we have here, they just laugh at Sean Tembo. Mr. Tembo, Mr. Tembo, that's funny. Take him to task. So Sean Tembo says that the UPND ordered the closure of learning institutions in Kabwe so that students can attend HH's rally. First of all, that's completely false. That is not true. That didn't happen. You know why? Because that would go against everything that HH stands for when it comes to education. Everybody knows the emphasis that HH places, the priority that HH places, the importance that HH places on education. There's no way this administration can send out a communique to all institutions in Zimbabwe. Kuti, maskuru muvale. HH abuela. Nonsense. That's not true. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. And Tonse Alliance, they know that. That is gutter guerrilla politics. You're trying to play into the hands of the disgruntled, the deplorables. But it's not going to work. You know why? Because you are telling lies. You're telling lies, and it's not right. Tell the truth. HH doesn't stand for that. He doesn't. He stands for a priority on education. And then Sean Temba goes as far as saying, this joker, he goes as far as saying, no, what HH should have done was he should have asked the prisons, Chimbogaira and all these other prisons. He should have asked the prisons to attend those rallies because the prisoners are mainly bored. You're such an idiot, Sean. You infuriate me, Sean Tembo. You do, honestly. If you were on fire, Sean, I wouldn't spit on you. I wouldn't. And that's putting it mildly. All right. Guys, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Bye.